Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing very well. My name is Isha Rathor and I welcome you all to this Python programming course. Today, at the beginning of this course, we will be learning about what is a Python programming, and if you haven't write a single line of code, you will be able to write from this video. Before we start writing programs, it's important to understand the basic concepts that forms the foundation of the programming language. Many students think programming is very difficult because they imagine writing hundreds of lines of code from just day one. And that's not possible. You also know that. But that's how it is going to work. Programming language is never learned, it should be understood. The logic should be understood. Programming is learned by learning only one concept at a time. Once the basics becomes clear, everything will be very easier to understand. In today's session, we will learn what programming is, what is Python, why Python has become one of the most popular languages, what is the logic behind the code or whatever the language is, how we are going to write our first Python program. So even if you have never write a single code, we will just make sure that today you will be. This course starts from very absolute basic and we will covering every milestone, taking it very smoothly. So you don't have to worry, just listen. So let's begin our journey with Python fundamentals. Okay, Python fundamentals. As you see the screen today, we are going to learn about Python fundamentals. Before learning any programming language, we should first understand why the programming language exists. Every application that we use today, whether you say it's WhatsApp, Instagram, Amazon, or even like online bank system, has been built through these programming languages only. A programming language is a simple way of communicating with a computer. It's just like like a bridge between us and a computer. Just as humans communicate each other using different languages, whether it's Hindi, English, Kannada, Russian, French, whatever you just name it, and we just use it as for our conversations. Similarly, these programming languages are built so that we can communicate with our computers. Python is one of the search language. It is one of the most easiest language to learn for beginners, whether you want, because as I told you, it's just like a simple English. It is since I told you, it is one of the most easiest language to learn, which is why most of the schools make sure that students learn it. Many schools, colleges, and universities choose Python as their first programming language for beginners, because if you are able to understand it, you will be understanding more programming languages. You must have heard about many programming languages, whether it's C, C++, or JavaScript, Java, whatever you say. But above all these, Python is literally very easy to understand because it's just like a simple English when you write the code. During this course, we will gradually move from very basic concepts to the advanced concept. So you don't have to worry if anything sounds very new today. Everything will be becoming very clear as we will progress through the course. Okay. So as I told you, you have must have heard about many languages like C, C++, Java, JavaScript. All these languages all these are also programming languages, but today just we are focusing in this course is Python, because uh, this is a most readable, open source, and cross-platform language. Now we know the topic of today's lecture. Let's understand the complete course roadmap. Okay, so this is how our journey is going to be. Before beginning to any course, it is always helpful to know from where we are going to start and what we are going to learn in this coming session. Think of it as like a roadmap of this journey or units, what we are going to learn. Just like you cannot study the final chapters of mathematics without learning the basics like addition, subtractions, etc. Programming language should also follow some kind of sequence. Every new topic depends on the previous topics, so don't skip anything. Let's understand every unit, each one very easily. In for today's lecture, we are going to covering Python basics or fundamentals, which is also our current topic. Here, we will learn the basic concepts such as programming, Python, variables, etc. How we are going, at the end of the session, you will be able to write your first line of code. So this unit is like a foundation course. So you have to learn it very, you have to be very patient and learn and listen everything very carefully. Now, the second unit would be operators. Operators are used for arithmetic performance, such as calculations like subtractions, multiplication, or division, whatever you name it, comparison, like we have to greater than, equals to, less than, or equal to, logic operations. You will be knowing this very easily. Once we know how to store information, the next step is to perform calculations. So we are just going to calculate basic things. Now the third is control statement. Now imagine if you are creating a system, something, for example, grade result system. If the students mark above 40 should be pass or fail, whatever the criteria is, there we need some kind of control. Like if the condition is matched, then only the student should move to the next class. So for that, we are need a control statement. So we will be learning about if else, elif, and loops in this third unit. Now we will moving after that we will be moving towards functions. While writing programs, we will be repeating many codes again and again and again. It's so frustrating, and also it is just creating too much chaos and increasing the number of lines. Instead of writing the same instructions repeatedly, we can write them once inside a function and call them whenever we need it. So where at this point we need function. It is a block of code that is very reusable, and we can call it anywhere. Functions make program little shorter, cleaner, and easier to understand. Then there is data structure that will include list, tuples, dictionaries, and etc. I know this will be sounding very difficult to you, but trust me, we will go very easily. Till now, we have understood how to store values, but what if a school has like 1,000 students? If we have 1,000 students, we will be having different type of data. It will be numbers, it will be name, it will be address, there will be decimals, etc., etc. We are not going to create like thousands of variables, right? Of course, we cannot. Instead, Python provides different data structures like list, tuples, sets, dictionary, which allows us to store multiple type of data. Then OOPS. OOPS stand for object-oriented programming. This is one of the most important topics in programming. Large applications are usually built through these OOPS only. Here we will understand classes, object, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, and many more. These concepts helps developer to build an organized and reusable code. Then we will moving towards file handling. File handling is like you have entered some data into your program. As soon as your program closes, all the data disappears. Then what? That's something useless, right? We need to create, if we are creating something, we need to create it something which is useful. File handling helps us to save information permanently so that whenever the system is being closed, it remains available even after whatever the system is closed for. Then the last unit, that is regular expressions. Now it is also known as in the short form regex. They are used to search text. For example, checking whether an email address is valid or not, because we have certain criteria to maintain email address, like @ should be there, .com, something something, domain name, and we have to verifying the phone numbers. For example, every country has different number of code for that. Also verifying the phone numbers is correct or not, or searching a specific word inside a large document. So whenever these type of things come, we will working through regex. So this will be our complete journey. Every unit is like a step for the previous one. So there I recommend following this whole sequence and practicing every lecture. So now let's me move to next unit. Okay, so this is the unit that will turn about learning objective, what we will learn at the end of this whole unit. Every lesson has a goal, and today's lesson will be also having a good goal. By the end of the session, you should be able to understand what is Python, why it has become so popular around the world. You will be also able to write a very simple line of code. We will learn about what is variables, which are used to store information. Then we will understand data types, which tell Python what kind of information is being stored. And then we will be using a simple function here too, that is print function, because that marks your beginning in the writing your first code. Finally, after these concepts, you will be feeling that okay, you have covered something. These concepts may seems very simple, but they are the foundation course, so pay very good attention to it, uh, so that you will be able to write a good line of programs in future. So I encourage everyone to pay a close attention and practice each example very clearly. So okay, moving to next. What is programming? So far we have understood what we are going to learn in this program, how we are going to learn. But before learning everything, we need to answer one important question. What is programming? I have been speaking about programming language throughout the whatever I have said till now. But let's exactly learn what is programming. Many students think programming means writing complicated codes or with full of symbols or notations or numbers, but actually programming is much simpler than that. Programming simply means giving instructions to a computer so that it performs a specific task. Let me explain this with an example. Okay, so for example, you have been given a recipe to cook. So if you don't know anything about recipe, what will you go? You will search about what are the steps to cook it, right? For example, if you're making a simple tea, a cup of tea, first you will take some water, then you will add some tea leaves, then sugar, then milk. Finally, you boil it and serve it. Notice, so in this whole note, you will notice one thing, that you're following a certain kind of steps, in certain kind of instructions, one by one, one another. If you accidentally added or miss something, the whole tea will be spoiled. Example, if you add salt instead of sugar, the tea won't taste right. Similarly, if we give wrong instructions or incorrect instructions to a computer, it will produce the wrong result or show an error. Now pointing towards, if you can see this diagram, we can see three arrows. Okay, the first is human writes code. This tells us that human is going to write a code, whatever we want us, whatever task we want to perform, so the human will write that. The second part is language translate. The programming language which act as a barrier between a computer and a human will act here. Finally, the computer will execute those instructions exactly how the human wants. Whatever the set of instructions, whatever the task has to be performed, will be executed by the computer. One important thing to remember, that computers are very intelligent at performing calculation, but they have no common sense. It will be human that will be providing just instruction. It will just follow the steps. They only do what we tell them. They don't use their own common sense. That makes us different, right? If we write the wrong instruction, the computer will give the wrong output. The computer will never say that you have been given the wrong instruction. It will still follow it, and because, as we already told you, it doesn't have anything with that common sense that can guess that what actually you mean. If you are, for example, you are moving towards Google Map and you want to go Delhi, but you in the for the Google Maps you have put the address of Jaipur. Obviously, you will be landing in Jaipur instead of Delhi. Okay, so Google Maps will not ask you, "Are you sure you want to go to Delhi or Jaipur?" It will simply start navigating towards Jaipur because it follows your instruction, what you have given it. Programming works in the same way. So let's just think it's like something, it's like a robot that follows your instructions. If you want, I can give you another example. That is, suppose I want to calculate sum of two numbers. The computer doesn't automatically know what addition means. You have to use that plus symbol, right? I have to write instruction telling to take first number, then use the second number, then add together and display the output. These instructions together perform a program. This is what we say a program is. Okay, so now we understand programming. Let's learn about the language we will use throughout this course, that is our Python. Python is one of the most popular programming language in this world, which was created by Guido van Rossum and officially released in 1991. It has one of the most go-to language for beginners and professionals because it is literally like a simple English. Guido van Rossum wants to create a program that is easy to learn, easy to read, easy to use. Today, millions of developers around the world use Python every day. Now we will moving towards the key characteristics of it. Since it's a high level language, the first feature has been mentioned. It's a high level language. What does this mean? A computer understands only machine language. This which consists of binary language, that is zeros and ones. It does not understand. If I say hello to him, it will not understand what does the hello mean. But if I say it 0101, it will understand what 0101. It will decode accordingly. Humans, on the other hand, prefer English like statements. We need a proper statement to communicate. We cannot understand if what is 1010 combination means. Python allows us to write code that is very close to human language. Why does this help? Because this makes programming much easier. You can understand what the whatever the computer will understand what you want to say, and you will be able to write simple English. Now the second character that is very important, that is it is an interpreted language. This means that the lines of codes are executed one another by another. Line by line code is executed. Let me explain. For example, imagine when a teacher is taking a homework or for your mark sheet, if she checks each page as soon as you finish writing it, that is similar to an interpreter. Like you're writing the code, the execution is done hand by hand. You have completed the first question, it has been checked. Second question, it has been checked. So it makes a little easier for everyone to understand where you are making mistake. On the other hand, if she waits until you complete the whole 15 questions before checking it, that is similar to a compiler language. That first it will compile whole language, then execute. But Python is use an interpreter. Okay. Now open source. It is free to use, and it is an must. I would say one of the most greatest advantage that anyone can download it, use Python for free of cost. You don't have to purchase any kind of license or anything. You have to pay. You don't have to pay a single penny. Then it's easy syntax. Python has very simple syntax. Unlike some other languages that requires many brackets, semicolons, and Python only focuses on readability. This makes it ideal for beginners. It's almost like a simple English that could be understood easily. It's beginner friendly. One of the reasons colleges teaches Python first because it allows students to focus on solving problem instead of remembering the complicated syntax. Python stands out because it's used indentation to organize the code. What is indentation? Indentation is like is used to mark you that this is a specific block of code, and this is another block of code. You will be able to understand indentation in the further videos easily. Proper spacing makes programming easier to understand and encourage the programmers to write clean and readable code. So if another person also is reading the code, it will understand what you have developed. Okay. One famous principle of Python is simple is better than complex. Instead of writing complicated codes, Python encourages developer to write simple and understanding programs. Now we know that what Python is. Let's see where is Python actually used in this real world. Since I have been bragging about that it is one of the most used language, we will understand how is it used. Okay. Many a student will be thinking about this. Why should I learn Python instead of another language? The answer is simple. It is Python is used everywhere. You name it, and Python is already there. First and the most booming industry right now is AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence allows computer to perform tasks that require normally human intelligence. It is just create a duplication of human intelligence. Example includes ChatGPT, Cloud AI, Gemini, facial recognition, self-driven cars. Python is one of the most widely used languages for AI. Second, machine learning. Machine learning is a branch of AI. It is a subset of AI where computer learns from data itself. Instead of being just learning from programs, it learns from the data. For example, a Netflix recommendation. Whatever the movie is, or whatever the new recommendation, or whatever the taste you have, the recommendations are according to you. If you have ever noticed about that, or YouTube suggestion videos. Like if you are listening to a song, then it will provide you a similar kind of song in the next recommendation. That is where also Python is used. Data science. Companies collects huge amount of data. Everything data is lots of data is there, which is structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Every type of data is just in everything works on the data. Python helps to analyze that and discover the only the useful took out only the useful information. Web development. Many websites are built using Python frameworks such as Django and Flask. These frameworks helps developer create secure and scalable web application. You will be learning this after learning this language. You can only also explore this different fields. Then automation. Suppose you are performing same task every day. Python can automatic repetitive tasks such as sending emails, renaming, or generating reports. Then cyber security. As I told you, everything is online. Everywhere we use anything is based on data. Has to be protected too, right? Security professionals use Python to detect any vulnerability. If there is any mishap or something wrong in the trafficking of the network, it will automate and secure the testing. Then there is game development. Although Python is not a primary language for gaming and all, but it is widely used for game development. As you can see, Python is not just for the limited field. Whether you interest in AI, data science, cybersecurity, automation, web dev, anything. So one of the reasons Python continues to be the most popular language amongst the beginners or the experts. So far, we have understood what programming is, what Python is, and where Python is used. Now explore the feature that makes Python different from other languages such as C, C++, Java, whatever the languages are. Before moving to our first live coding, okay? Okay. What makes Python special? So, uh, now Python, since is one of the most used language amongst this generation, the key feature is Python is very simple. Like its syntax is very clean. Everyone who never wrote a single line of code can understand Python very well. Compare this to other language, new spoken language. If the grammar is very difficult, learning becomes frustrating, and you will be like, okay, leave it. I don't want to learn it. Python keeps the grammar very simple, or syntax simple, so that learners can focus on the logic behind it, not just cramping the syntax. It's very readable. The second feature, as I told you, it's very readable. Readability means the code is easy to understand. If someone else, suppose I have written something of code, some kind of code, and another programmer wants to see it, they can easily understand what I want to develop, or what is my idea behind developing this. That's make it very good, because this is very important in companies where multiple developers are working on the same project. If I am writing a code and the second developer is not able to understand, then there is no use. The whole project will be like vanished. It's very portable. That portability means that it works on any software. Suppose you write a program on Windows. In most of the cases, you can see the same program on Linux or MacOS with little or no modification. This saves a lot of time. For example, if I have Windows, if this person in front of me have Mac, he can just use the same kind of code. So it is very important that there should be any portability. Already told you it's free. Python is completely free. Anyone can download it from the official website and start learning without paying any license fee. Python supports multiple operating systems. Whether you are using Windows, Linux, Mac, or anything you name it. So this make it very useful for developer working on different programming. Large community is using this. Millions of programmers around the world use Python. If you have faced a problem while learning it, chances are someone else has already solved it. That is why you find thousands of tutorials and discussions online on this language. Use library. Python has inbuilt libraries. What is a library? Library is a set of books, right? Similarly, in Python, there is also a library that has a collection of ready-made tools. Instead of writing everything from scratch, we can use just existing libraries. We will just have to call it. There are some libraries I want to name it are NumPy for maths, Pandas for data analysis, Matplotlib for graphs and all, TensorFlow for AI. These libraries saves a lot of time and make development much easier. These are 7 features that itself makes Python very easiest, most powerful, and most good language for beginners to understand. Now we understand Python features. Let's see how Python is used by someone of the world's biggest company. Like as I told you, you name it and Python is there. Let's see how is it used. So this is some real world actions where the Python is already used. Many students think Python is used for learning purpose only, but the reality is very different. Python is used by some of the most biggest companies in the world. Suppose, for example, Google. Google uses Python as its service in terms of backend development for algorithms or AI. Then Netflix, I told you, whenever the Netflix recommends movie or TV shows based on your interest, there is Python that is playing an important role behind it. Okay. Then Instagram uses Python as a backend service. Every time you upload a photo or refresh your feed, Python helps to process those requests. You can even see similar reels that your friends is also like if you and your friends have similar taste, you will be having same kind of reels and all. So that is how Python is working. NASA uses Python for scientific calculations, data analysis, space missions. Okay, this shows Python is very powerful enough to use in highly critical scientific applications. Real life motivation, if I want to say, is so whenever you want to start Python today, if you're starting from today, remember that you are learning the same language used by these companies and organized around the world. Now it's time to move from theory, little bit of practice. Okay, and we are going to write our first Python program. So before that, I want to introduce to use to something that is called compiler. So what is right now I'm talking about it is like a platform where you write your code and your output is displayed. There are two types of compiler, and offline and online. Offline, there are many kind of compiler, but one of the most famous that I would recommend to students would be VS Code. There are thousands of video how to download it, how to use it for Python. So I have this is one of them. Whenever remember this, Python has an extension called .py. That means whenever you are saving a file, you have to add that extension. Like here I've written .py. That makes it that this file is for Python. This will working for the Python language. Okay, now talking about the online compiler. So there are thousands of online compiler. One of this I have here. You can just search online Python compiler and you will get many of links. Choose any of them. Okay. So this these are two types of compiler, online and offline. You can work on any of them. Okay. The advantage of offline compiler is that your code has will be saved in the computer itself. In the online compiler, there is no such, I would say, opportunity. Okay. Now, since I told you in the like in the beginning of the session that today we are going to use one simple function, which is print. This is print. As I told you, the Python language is very easy and similar to English. So, as the name suggests, print means printing something. Whatever the display you want to display should be output. Whatever you want to display be written in this print function. After writing print, you have to use these brackets. This bracket, whatever you will be printing will be written under those two brackets. Okay. Then you will write anything you want to display. For example, if I want to display a message, so I'm using some two double inverted quotes. I will let you know what does that means. First, I'm just writing a simple message that is listen. Okay, the simple message, and I'm going to run it through here. Okay, the message is displayed. Hello, just listen. The print function is printing whatever the message I wanted to display. Okay. So every programmer remembers their very first program as hello world, but I have done something different. So each part have been explained. So the only thing that's left is why I have written this whole message in double inverted code. This is everything that text inside the quotation mark is written is called a string. String, because you will be learning, it is a data type. We will be learning this in different videos future. Right now you just have to remember whenever you have to write a message or something like that, you have to use double inverted quotes. If you want to print a number, for example, print 10, simple 10. Print 10. Just have to again restart it. So there in the message this lesson, and the this 10. So I'm just going to copy this, and I will also let you know how this works in the online computer. So here in this part you have to write your code, and here you're going to run, and the output will be displayed in your this system. So the second one, what we have written is a number, and the first one is string. So you remember it. It's a simple way of writing a message. You also have to perform similar kind of messages and try it by yourself. And notice that while I'm writing the text in the offline compiler, there is when a text is changing the color accordingly. It's a string, then it's like orange color, then number, then it's green, that's a number. Because this tells us that these are different kind of data. Okay. Now, if you want, we can perform a simple calculation. Simple like if I want to plus 10 plus 20. I want to display this 10 plus 20. So here is this. Hello, this lesson. Answer is 30. So this is a simple way of calculating. Simple. Okay, remember, you can never print a message like this. Print. If you're going to write like this, there will be an error. See, hello is not defined. Here we forgot we have to write this hello in the quotation. This produces a syntax error. Always remember to open and close the quotation mark correctly. Okay, write this. Double strings. This will work. Definitely this will work. Because Python is a remember Python is a case sensitive. Python is like if you write Python is case sensitive is means that you change the case from lower to upper, then it will not work. Remember the print here have small p. If you write it like capital P, this won't work. See, there is error because these are some reserved words, and you have to write it in the same kind of case. If it's in lowercase, you have to write in lowercase. If it's uppercase, you have to write in uppercase. Print is a different word, will be considered as a different word and will cause error. But if we write small p, then it will consider print as a function that you want to display a message. Okay. I would like you all to try different messages, like writing inside it, uh, like print your name, your city, or your favorite subject, or perform some basic calculations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and see how the information is displayed. So now we have now the print function I have displayed. This is one of the most frequently used Python functions, so you have to understand it very clearly. Its job is simple: display the output, whatever we have to display. So if you want, you can even here you can put some decimal number like 3.14, that is a pi number. Started. Also displayed. This is a decimal number, but in Python language we will call it as float. Okay, now if you want, you can type different type of messages also, like print hello, and then comma, this okay, is 10. This is 10. Like hello, this is 10. So see how this is. This is how it is displayed. You can like multiple messages inside this by using commas also. Okay. So you have to remember only the four rules. Text must be enclosed in quotation marks. Numbers do not require quotation marks, even if it's a decimal number. Multiple values should be separated by commas. Every print statement should be started with a new line. You cannot write it like this. It will throw an error. Okay. So you cannot write this. You have to start it with new line every time. And Python is a case sensitive language, so don't change the case of the language accordingly. Okay. At the conclusion, today we have started our Python journey by understanding what programming language is it, why is it important. We learned what is Python, its major feature, where we use it in real world, We also wrote our first program language using print function and understood some beginner mistakes. Okay, we understood how the what is the platform where we can write the code and how we can write the code. The next lecture we will moving towards a new unit and learning about variables, which helps us to store information inside a program. Thank you for attending today's session. I hope you found it very useful. Keep practicing. The example shown today, I'll let you see in the next class. For now, Unit 1 is complete. Please keep practicing it more using different numbers and combinations and try displaying your own message and see the results. Thank you.